Today we're checking out Seal of Fate, a brand new comedic and upbeat anime RPG. Now at first glance is your typical gacha setup, lots of heroes to collect, auto turn-based combat, and your typical upgrade system. But it also tries a few things that make it stand out a bit, like letting any character evolve to a UR rarity. And I spent some time with this, let's do an overview and see what this game is really about. Title chapters will be in the description so you can go where you want. Just make sure to hit that like on the way out if you think the info was valuable enough for you. Let's go, my friends. Now with combat, in order to get to a pre-deployment screen, you actually need to click deploy before you actually hit the challenge button. The challenge button will get you to fighting right away. So hit deploy, and then to change out your heroes, you need to either uncheck their portraits, or you can actually uncheck them themselves directly. You can also drag your heroes around to change the position, or you want to go from the front or the back row. And there's different bonus stats you can have on the front or back row, so that actually does matter in this game. Now presets are a little weird. Once you make a team, I haven't really found a way to actually change it other than just to have that team, make those changes, and then in the pre-deployment section again, you have to save that lineup out. So in other words, if I have a preset here and I click somebody, I can't just like click somebody and then say, hey, I don't want that person anymore, give me somebody else. You actually have to go back here, have your set up there, and then go into preset and then save it. The switch actually doesn't switch out a unit, it actually is just for these things here, for the fairy genie and the artifact, or you can just like completely delete out your preset. So kind of something that's weird. I hope they change that. Now when you're all done, all you got to do is just hit save. Now the challenge is what gets you right into the fight. There's 10 stages in each chapter. At the very end, on the 10th stage, you always face a boss. So let's go into one right now. And you start off with combat at 1 speed. I'll turn that back on right now, and then quickly you get ×2 and then ×4 after that. Early on in the game, there's actually no ×3, just 1, 2, and 4. Now sadly, it's all auto combat. There's no manual selection of the enemies, there's no manual special attacks or ultimates to set off that you can actually do yourself. The system just does it for you, so it all goes off when the gauges are charged up, and it just does it. Now on the plus side, you do get 3D combat, and the ultimates are kind of entertaining to watch at times. If you choose 4 speed, you can kind of burn through the battle pretty quick, but skip opens up pretty early in the game too. I do have it right now. And if you want to grind things out, you're probably going to be tapping that as fast as you can on most of those battles. Now, you don't always get to skip every single battle. There's like very specific ones, and like when you're on a boss. When you have a boss, then you're allowed to skip, I think, on round 3 of the whole battle. Then it'll unlock and you can try it. And it doesn't mean you're actually going to win. You could still fail. Now, you got your victory screen here. You have all your usual data here. You can see the times, or you can see the items that you gain. You've got the level and the experience bar. You've got the graph bar down here. This is going to show you the stats of how everybody did. And then you can also hit the play button if you want to. This is actually just going to show you a replay of how the battle actually went. You just hit skip and it'll actually take you right back out to where you were. Now let me jump into another battle here for you. Now I'm going to leave it on ×4 speed so you can actually see it play out here. So it is still turn-based, but it's turn-based auto combat. So you can see I can't select anybody. I really wish I could. I can't select any of my people. There is no ability to just like turn on or turn off like ultimates, or even like extra ultimate animations would probably be kind of cool. But you don't get any of that. It's just all completely auto. Now there's like an ultimate there. I think that's like an ultimate link attack. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing, but there's like special abilities, and then there's like that ultimate. Now, as far as I'm aware, ×4 speed is the maximum speed that this game has, unless I get one that opens up later. I'm almost at level 40, I think like level 37, 38. So we'll see if one opens up again, but I think that's pretty much it. Let me jump into another one here so you can see what that looks like again. Now, there are these like kind of links between some of the characters, so it really depends on the meow mates that you actually have. So certain ones, they gives them like some type of stat bonus, and there's like certain things that they can do if you have both of those characters together, and if they're in the same squad. So you can actually have a bigger stat bonus if you have certain squad mates total between like all 6 of those. It really just depends. It does show you the real-time damage that's on the screen that's been taken, but there is like no shifting of the camera or anything either. I kind of wish they gave you that. I understand that would like change the dynamics too of, you know, the whole coding of the game, because then you have the camera angles and the rendering of how it all looks and everything. But I mean, they have advertised 3D combat, and that is true, but because I can't like change anything around, it kind of bothers me a bit. Now, most battles are pretty much like that pace if you have it on ×4, and that's what it goes through. There are some stipulations in some of the game modes, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But what do you think about this combat? Do you think that's like something they should have given you more control over, or are you just fine with sitting back and letting the system work for you? Now, I've got several areas to break down when it comes to characters, also called meow mates in this game. So we're going to start with the two most common. That's going to be the level up and the tier up, and then we're going to branch from there. So the level up here, it's capped at the maximum level of whatever you are as the captain. So if I'm at level 38, for example, then the highest I can level up a character is going to be 38. The system doesn't always give you an option to go up one level at a time. Like, you can't just say 5 or 10 or just 1. It'll just max out whatever it can according to the experience that you have. So I wouldn't click that unless you're sure that that's the one that you want to level up, that particular character. Now, tier up is your next most common thing you're going to be doing. Now let me show you how that works. I'm going to hit tier up here on Asuka, and at the bottom you're going to see these 4 items. Now some of them you need more than others. So like with the water bottle here on Lilith I need 20, and then on the compass I need 20, but on this thing here I need 10, and then I need 10 of those. So you need to use your sweep ability, and you need to have your bread in order to use your sweep ability, because that acts as your energy in order to collect the amount of things that you need, and you just repeat that for each single thing that you need. It's kind of repetitive, but it's how it works. So for example here, I'm going to bring up that I need this water bottle. I'm going to go ahead and sweep 10 times, and it takes 50 bread in order to sweep 10 times, and then I'm going to have 15 out of 20, so I really need it 5 more times. So I'm going to go ahead and just do it again, and now I've got the 20 I need, and you got to repeat that for each of these things that you got here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what tier up. All right, now that I got everything, I'm going to go ahead and hit tier up, and when you do this, you also gain various stat bonuses along the way, in addition to increasing your actually max team attack points. So it's a bonus for the character and for, of course, your team too, just like any other game. So and her attack went from 800 to 1400, her HP went from 4800 to 8400. So the tiers make a really big difference in this game. Now if you click overview, you can see a full stat list that you get for every tier up that you do. It might be hard to show up here on camera, but right here we just did number 4, so we had damage bonus +8, but you can see all these other ones that we get all the way up to, it looks like 24 I think is the maximum that you can do. Now for star up, you need your character puzzle pieces. They call them shards here. For every 10 shards of that character, you can star them up. Now a single start process doesn't mean that you have increased their rarity automatically. You have to do it 5 times and then you increase. So if you have this character here, she's an SSR already, she should be able to go up to a UR after this. So it's a 5-step progression. So I've got some shards here available. I've got 60. So if I can fill this up all the way, then I'll basically have done number 2 of the 5. And so now you can see what it looks like when she stars up. So remember, her rarity is still the same. I basically have to do that here, here, and here, and then I should be able to increase her rarity. Now there is one more section that is linked to rarity, and I'll show you that a bit later in this video. It's kind of confusing, so hopefully I'm getting this right. Now the next important thing is your gear, and this is split into 4 sections. You've got the crafting of the gear, the enhancing of the gear, the engraving of the gear, and the final one is the enchanting of the gear, but you get that at level 39. I'm almost there, I don't have it yet. Now all of those increase the stats, which goes back to increasing your hero's main stats, and ultimately then your entire team. Quick craft your gear if you have the stuff for it, and it'll make a set of gear. You can see the attribute increases too. It'll get from the bottom here, it'll tell you what's going to happen if you can quick craft it. Now for me, the goal is to go from basic gear to common and then to rare. So right now this character here, she has some basic boots, so her next boots will go to common, but she has these other items that are common, so then they'll actually go up to rarity. So now she has a full set of common gear, green, and I can hit quick enhancement, and it's going to try and enhance those all the way up to the maximum level that gear can actually go to. So after that, when I quick craft again, when I have the stuff to be able to do it, you can say I don't have it right now, then it'll go up to a rare version. Now build is where you can give each individual piece of gear for that hero an extra bonus, but you need these flint here, and you get those from like the warrior tower and a couple other areas, and you really need a lot of these because it gets pretty expensive in order to engrave your gear. But this is an individual piece, so let's see if I got these boots here and I hit engrave. It's only going to engrave just that one item, and it takes quite a bit in order to do it. Now unfortunately I can't show you the enchantment yet because I don't have that unlocked, but there also is the rune now, which I just got like 1 level back. I don't have any runes to be able to put in here, but this is another important area. So you get that like when you get level 38, and that's when you can start collecting these, and I'll show you the spot where you can actually farm those from. Now after all that, you've got your stats, you got your basic stuff here next to your rarity type. You can click this to see the kind of like hero this person is. Like she does healing, energy control, she's considered a support character, and she's also a sanctum character, which is yellow. So in this one I think there's like yellow, maybe yellow, purple, blue, red, and one more color. We'll have to take a look at that, but she's yellow. And you can also click the skill set here and it'll tell you what it is that she has and what they can do. If you click this one here, you can see that I don't actually have it yet, but when she is UR status, I'll be able to get this one Mythic Awaken, and then it'll tell you the different star levels of that skill. Now the last thing here is the ranking. This is going to be ranking actually for everybody. It's not like ranking for that character alone here. Now you've got your available skins. Not everyone has additional skins, and then you've got your reset. Now if we go into skins here, you do get a stat bonus, so it's not just cosmetic. You can hit the little I button here and then you can view it in all its skin and glory there, and you can click obtain if you don't have a particular skin, and what it's going to do is it's going to take you to the boutique area where you can try and roll for that. So let me find someone here that has an additional skin. So we've got an option to go obtain. Oh, hers isn't available yet. Let me find somebody. All right, so with Lilith here, if I hit go obtain, with her skin you can acquire from the boutique, and if you have these like magic lantern things, you can actually try and summon for them. So I've got the ability to summon right now. I'm not going to do it right now, but that's how she can get hers. Some particular skins you have to purchase, so it won't take you to here, and actually will just take you to the shop. So here's one where you got to go buy it, and you can see that the price on that is pretty ridiculous.
Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me? All of the noise turned into choirs of harmony. Left me with the pieces of forever that you broke. But since you left me alone, I've been high.
Now you don't really get cinematic cutscenes with this game, but instead they use these manga-inspired ones. Now they're pretty damn funny at times, and they make a lot of modern references to like pop culture things, so it can actually be pretty hilarious. But I kind of like the direction that they went with this a little bit. It's kind of new, but you might like this, you might not. But getting into like the side modes and the resource collection, we'll kind of just skim through this. Now, you're going to find those mostly in the adventure section here. Now you've got the Tower Realm. This is for like your gear and your typical tower-based levels. You kind of move up floors for like better rewards and stuff like that. Now some fights are called strategic challenges, where they put handicaps on about how many heroes that you can actually use. So it might be where you can only do like 4 out of 6 or like 2 out of the 6 or something like that. When you're strong enough for some of the fights, you get like an instant kill, but if you're not strong enough, then you actually have to battle. But you can still use the skip button inside, so it's just kind of based on how strong you are versus that particular enemy. Now here, this is going to be the boss of this particular floor, and I'm going to have a strategic challenge there, so I can only deploy one particular person. So I guess I'll just pick like my tank or something. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit skip because it's going to let me, and I ended up winning. Now the Golden Town, this is like a game board here, so you've probably seen similar things like this in other games. You have a dice that you can roll, and then it'll kind of move you on that board, and then you get a chance to like build certain structures along the way, and you can collect rewards. And then you can also like upgrade those structures too as you come across them. So I've got a structure here. I'm going to go ahead and roll again. And then as soon as I pass it, I believe it should let me actually collect, or it should let me upgrade. Okay, maybe you actually have to land on it. All right, here it is, building upgrade here. So this is the treasure center. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. And then your goal is just to basically keep going around and just collecting. You can roll more than once. Have an option here to roll 7 times. So you get things like that. Now the Hall of Fame is to collect your fame coins for your artifacts. You can use that to exchange for various artifact shards, and then you use those to fuse or to star up your artifact here. And then you've got to beat each of these tiers before you can actually move on to the next difficulty tier. And so it's kind of like a tower, but where it just gets progressively more challenging as the time goes on. So you'll have an enemy in front of you, and then you can challenge them. At the end of each one, then I think you get a chance to like increase the stat bonus of a particular character, but it's only for this particular mode alone. It's not like for everybody else. So right here, you get like a blessing. Now the Genosis trial I just opened up. This is going to be for farming your runes, and the runes are going to be those things that I showed you back on the character screen here. So you need to like do these various challenges here. Right now I have a solo challenge. I've got to defeat 3 guards here, and then I can challenge the boss there. and then I can get some of those runes eventually. Now we've got the Star Soul trial. This here you need to have level 48 in order to do it, so unfortunately I'm locked out at the moment. Same thing with Fate Dream, you got to be level 58, and I believe this is supposed to be for your SP points, which are your skill points. And you've got Genie Realm. This is a server open in 12 days, and you got to reach level 56. So it's currently closed off for everybody right now, even if you're currently at the right level. Now it's supposed to be a challenge tower row-like dungeon from what I understand. It's supposed to be like, instead of just farming one resource, you're supposed to like test your squad across like multiple floors, and then each floor that you clear, it'll give you a one-time milestone rewards. And I guess it could be things like the Starmans, those are like your diamonds in other games, different like materials and rare items. So I don't think it's locked to one particular resource, but like a couple of different ones. Now at the top we've got the Abyss Crusade and the Boss Crusade. The Abyss Crusade is to collect boss coins, and then there's a single boss that you can attack here. And then the Boss Crusade is currently closed, so I can't really show it to you unfortunately, but I assume it's similar. I'm not 100% because I think it was open when I originally started playing the game some time ago, and then it closed off by the time I went to make the video. And then back on the main screen we got the guild and we've got the arena. The guild is so you can join a guild, pretty self-explanatory there. The arena is going to be your PvP and your PvE multiplayer. So I have right now ladder rush and I have championship unlocked, but once I hit more levels I think I can open up honor contest. Yeah, level 38, so I'm almost right there. And then you got peak showdown, opens in 9 days. So that one there I think is not locked out on my level, but it's just the server hasn't unlocked it yet. And then ladder rush, this is like a tower based gameplay mode, so the whole point is just to collect as many silver and gold coins, and then you can use those to exchange for yet another shop. And there's actually quite a few of these shops in this game, we'll go over that too. And then certain enemies here you can actually just sweep them if you have the ability to. So if you're strong enough you can do a sweep and then you can get some silver coins real quick. And then I'm out of time, so if I want to actually get more I either have to wait until the next day starts, or I can spend like 200 of my Starmans and then I get like some more chances. Now the last area to talk about here is the support section, and that might be confusing because of how they named it. It's not where you reach out for like tech support, it's actually part of the game. So some of these areas link back to your hero profile section. Treasure here, this is going to be where treasure items go like once you get them, and then you can like do stuff and upgrade them and whatnot. I don't have any right now, I don't think. Now the gallery has Meow Mate, artifact, and skin. Now the Meow Mate here actually has another little section here we haven't touched on yet. So usually once you improve one of your characters, you star them up, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to actually hit that improve button. And that's just like another way for you to increase your overall stats and your overall team stat bonus too. And when there's somebody available that you need to do, you're going to see a little red dot. So like I have one here on the Sanctum section. You can see because I've got Vera here that we improved earlier. So I've got to click her and then it's going to give us that stat bonus for both her as well as the team. Now artifact is another way to access the artifacts that you've collected, which you can upgrade and then you can star those up too. So I've got this Twilight Staff here. I can actually do an upgrade here because I've got enough materials to do so, and I can do it quite a few times. And then I can also star it up. And the star up here kind of works the same way as the characters. So you can increase the rarity of that, but you've got to go through your 5-step process. Now train here, this is a bit confusing too. This is a spot where you can help increase your rarity for a character, and you need to use these guidebooks that you've got here. Now I believe you have to complete these quests in addition to the normal star up section in order to get the rarity up, but I'll be honest, I'm not 100% yet on it. So I have Vera here and you can see that she is like 2 out of like the 5 stars. We know that once we get her starred up to the 5th time, it should help increase her rarity, but it's possible that we also need these quests too. They haven't been really transparent about how this completely works, but somehow they're linked together and you've got to be able to like level up your characters here with these guidebooks. But if I have any better updates on that, I'll append that to the end of this video, or I might put it in a comment or something like that as I learn more on how it works. Now cabin is where you deploy people so they can collect resources like the guidebooks that I just showed you in the last section here. So you would hit this shift button, and then if there was anything available, then there'd be a button here to like process that. So it's kind of like on other games where like you send people out on quests and they just like do stuff and then they collect resources and come back. It kind of like works the same way. It's very specific, so you can get those guidebooks, and I think like maybe gold coins or something too. Now roster is just a link back to the hero star up section, and the bottom 3 I don't have unlocked yet. So that's Star Scroll, Sigil, and Time Palace. Time Palace though, it looks like that's locked out for everyone anyways because it's stay tuned. So this one I need to have server open 21 days and reach level 66, and this one I just need to be level 48. But that's what I have unlocked so far. There could be other game modes that are in the pipeline. I just have no idea what those might be other than the ones that I can see that are grayed out. With resources, you have a lot to collect. Your quest list is going to be your main main list, and almost everything you do is going to trigger something that you need to collect. But as usual, I would always just look for those red dots or those red gift markers to see if there's anything there. A red dot means there should be something to collect, but the red gift sometimes comes across even if there's not a free item, so I would just be mindful of that. So I've got something in the quest here, down here on the 7-day explore. I can claim that, and there I'm good to go. But you will see that sometimes even in the, I think like the shop or the exchange areas, so it can be a little bit tricky. You might think there's something available, but they're just trying to like sell you something. Now there's usually something free to collect in multiple areas per day, including the main shop. Now this is also where you can spend ridiculous amounts of money on skins if you want to and stuff like that. There's not too many to buy anyways, but you can see that one of them there was going for $100. That is just insanity. And unfortunately, the shop doesn't show you all the main exchange sections in one area. They have them all scattered about. So the exchange section is different than say like the trader section, and then that's different than the shops, and they're even in the special banner event going on. So if I click like exchange here, this is going to be a different area than what I'm going to get in one of the shops for like one of the special event banners going on here, like in the artifact pool. So if I go here and I clicked artifact pool, there you can see that there's another shop here. This is going to be a different shop. I don't always have access to that from the main shop. Sometimes they show up here and sometimes they don't, which is really weird. Now the captain is the other area that you want to check back from time to time. Once you unlock it, you'll be able to like upgrade the captain. That's going to be you, and you can collect these little things here that you need, and then that's going to open up the ability to do talent points. So this is going to be your talent tree here. So you're going to want to like check a branch that you want to go up and then just go from there. And you actually don't have to spend all your points on one thing there. So if I spend some points there on Smash right there, I can still spend some points. Oh, I already upgraded it, but if I hadn't done a raid, I'd be able to like spend some points a raid, or I can actually go back here if I want to, and I can still buff this up one more point. So once you move past it, you're not actually stuck. You can actually still spend points in that section. And then next to captain is going to be your other link to that artifact, which I showed you earlier, so you can tier that up and star that up as necessary. So let's wrap this up. The best parts of this game are probably the humor, including the manga style cutscenes. You got the nice character artwork. The upbeat music in certain places can go a long way too to keeping like the vibe going. And they do give you a lot of things to collect for your dailies, and you'll need those because like any true gacha game, you spend those resources pretty frequently. I'm not sure if that's really a pro, but it's there. And being able to level up any hero to UR is nice, and it could be a big draw for some players. There's also a lot of game modes, especially for being a portrait gacha, which are traditionally super casual with limited things to choose from. But that does bring us to some negatives, because the combat itself is extremely casual with no control over enemy selection, specials, or ultimate abilities to launch. You have to sit back and watch while your heroes have all the fun. There's no central location to like trade or exchange all your various currencies. It's all over the place, and honestly it can be hard to remember sometimes where a certain shop is at. They think they need to have like a central launch point, so even if there's like a special event going on, you can have the link to that special event shop, but I think if they put it all like in the main shop, that'd be like super helpful. And because of the auto gameplay, it makes it feel like really repetitive, but they probably should also add some different combat music variations too, because without it, I think that only adds to the repetitive nature. Now I understand this is a casual 9/16 gacha game with like waifus and husbandos, but I feel like it has a small identity crisis. With the extra game modes and events, it feels like they want it to be something a little bit more, but it's still held back with like the sit back and wait combat. Not to mention there's a ton of microtransactions in this game. Now you don't have to use them, and most people aren't going to anyways, but even like those skin prices you saw are just absolutely out of control. But it's up to you, the player. Will you be giving this a shot? Now if you have any questions about this game or another game I've covered recently, feel free to ask them in the comments of the video, and I'll try to respond when I can. If it's a game that was quite a while ago, I'll try my best, but honestly, unless it's a game in my current rotation, I might forget about how the mechanics of that work, so just give me some time. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to watch another video. Hit the like, and you can always subscribe if you enjoy the channel enough. Thanks for the support. We're on our way to our first 100 subs. This is Blue Screen of Tech, and I'll see you in the next game.